Good evening, student. Welcome to Suresh Gyan Vyar University. Today we will discuss textbook method. Today we will cover meaning and definition of textbook method, characteristics of textbook method, defects of existing textbooks as stated by uh, Secondary Education Commission, use of textbooks, suggestion for improvement in textbooks. Learning objective of our today lecture. The student will be able to identify the meaning and definition of textbook method. The student will be able to understand the characteristics of textbook. The student will be analyze the use of textbooks. The student will be able to know the suggestion for important in textbooks. Meaning and definition of textbook. The word textbook consists of two words, text plus book. Text means written or printed material. Books means a set of pages that have been fastened together inside a cover to be read. Thus, we can say that textbook is a book that consists detailed information about a subject for those people who are studying that subject. Several authors made the meaning and idea of textbooks clear through their definition. The textbooks is a record of recall thinking organized for instructional purpose. According to Paul Quist, textbooks is the book designed for classroom use. According to Bacon, another definition of textbook, according to Oxford English Dictionary, says a textbooks is textbooks used as a standard work for the study of a particular subject, a manual of instructions in a subject of study. According to LJ Jivis, textbooks is tool both for the pupil and teacher. Good textbooks is source of knowledge. We can read book, then we can get knowledge. A guide. Book guide us for how to work, how what is the design of particular things, and they guide us. And instruction to pupil, a means of interpreting or through a tool. So the good book help us in acquiring knowledge. He guide us in different field, different matter. Instruction to pupil, means of interpreting, and truth too. Physical aspect of a book, size of the book, printing of the books, type size of books, paper used in book quality, and the fourth line or other, the quality of the paper, binding of a book, outer part of the book, price of a book, the overall get up of a book. These are the physical aspect of the book. Whenever, as you know, whenever we buy or take some book, first we saw the size and front page of the, cover page of the book, और पेपर यूज्ड इन बुक, बाइंडिंग है कि नहीं ये भी हम देखते हैं. We also saw the price of the book, the overall look of the books. These are the physical aspect of the book. Academic aspect of the book, thematic content, organization of the contents, textual language, illustration, visual aids, textual exercise. These are the academic aspect of the book. Choice of content, structure of the content, categorization of the content, conversation, relative magnitude, the structure, and book direction, book duration. So these are the academic aspect of the book. Now we will discuss characteristics of good book. It is a standard book of the prescribed course of study. It is beneficial for both the teacher and student. Books are used by the both teacher and student. It is manual of instruction. It is used for formal, non-formal, and informal education. In all form of education, generally we have three form of education. It is used in all form of education. It is a foundation on which the prescribed course of study is built up. It is a powerful tool for realizing the instructional objectives of the subject. It presents material in graded form. It is a learning instrumental instrument used by the students. It is a big as the habit of self-learning in the student. These are the characteristics of book. Quality of textbooks. Textbooks that are intended to be used should be useful for the student as well as teacher. They should be so designed that on the one hand they may be written according to the psychological requirement of the student. On the other, they should serve the purpose of the teacher who wish to impart knowledge to the student in a successful and interesting manner. The size of the book should be handy. not large size, not heavy. These books are we cannot carry in all the time. So the size of the book should be handy. It should be possible for student to carry them properly. They should not be bulky. Uh, in my childhood, I feel many times whenever the book have lot of pages or bulky, I I am not interested at that time to take or read this book. So uh, they should not be bulky or heavy. This is especially true about books intended for the primary classes. Next, printing and get up of book should be interesting and attractive. The cover page should be attractive, so each and every student or teacher attract by the book, so they can touch, they can read, they can try to understand what the concept and the content in the book. So printing and get up of the book should be interesting and attractive. They should be printed in the letters that they do not require strain on the eye size of the student. So the size of the content should be proper. On the other hand, they should be correctly and neatly printed. The the exterior of the picture should be attractive. If the exterior is attractive, a student would like to carry and then keep them. This is true of the books intended for the primary classes. They should serve the purpose of the subject matter as well as the aim of aim and object of teaching. They should be written with a view on the aims and objective of the teaching. The textbook should be accurately written. They should present the subject matter in such a manner that there is no fault in theme. The subject matter presented therein should be updated. So revise your data according to new knowledge, according to new data. The style of the book should also serve the psychological requirement of the student of different stage. Textbooks intended for the student of the primary class should be written in a story form. As you know, child are very curiositive, or they take too much interest in a storybook. So in primary classes, the book should be written in a story form. In the textbooks uh, meet for higher class, the author may use the regional method or some other method that is useful for the student uh, of the student stage. The textbook should continue to keep the interest of the student alive in the subject matter. The subject matter should be presented in a simple or lucid style and clear form. This is the main characteristics of book. The subject matter should be presented in simple, lucid, and uh, clear form. Uh, Next characteristics of good book: the textbook should be contain all the necessary and relative material required for a particular stage of education. The textbooks of different stage should be complementary to each other. Textbooks that are used in primary classes have some uh, bearing and connection with the textbooks that shall be used by the student in the junior high school classes. Similarly, textbooks that are to be in the mind, the books that have been used by the uh, student in the junior high school classes. Next characteristics of good book: the textbook should be free from prejudice. The presentation of the subject matter should be unbiased. There should be no material which can injury the success uh, ability to any class or category of pupil. They should contain objective descriptive of the pupil and condition to different countries. Next, quality of good textbooks. The textbook should contain chapter, map, diagram, etc. as and where required. Without the chart, map, and diagram, etc., the subject matter of the geography content cannot be taught properly. So, according to the need of content, it is necessary to in a good book to include all type of chart, map, diagram uh, properly. The subject matter of the geography cannot taught if the chart and map are not properly. It is therefore necessary to give place to all these things in the textbooks. Next characteristics of a good text book. Geography is a developing subject. Every day we find the new researches have been made in the field of geography and other field also. Up to date knowledge of geography must be given place in the textbooks. Next characteristics of good book. At the end of the every chapter of the textbooks, there should be certain question that may be used for revision of the subject matter. Without these questions, the textbook shall not be useful. The next characteristics of good book, if required, the textbooks may give a substance of the chapter at the end of each lesson. Such provision will help the student to grasp the subject matter properly. So I think you all have to understand the quality of good textbooks. Now we will discuss the types of textbooks. We have generally four types of textbooks. Student textbooks, teacher textbooks, workbooks, supplementary readers. Now we will discuss the scope of textbooks. Textbooks extended the habit of self-study and activity among the student. Textbooks develop the thinking of reasoning in the minds of pupils. it a chance to get proper different view of the subject matter. It develop teaching efficiency in different areas. Next scope of textbooks, to develop a good relationship between society and pupil. Because as we when we read the book, we get some knowledge, society, and what is the purpose of society. So what is the role of individual person for society? So develop good relationship between society and pupils. It extended is expanded the knowledge of many extent. It make opportunity to refer other discipline. Uh, it develop way to new finding facts and approaches to reach field. Pictures, tables are developed the understanding skills. Now we will discuss defects of existing test books as stated by Secondary Education Commission. The lack of interest shown by the top ranking scholars that the writing of textbooks has been generally done in actual practice by person whose ability are far from equal to the task. The main next defects of existing textbook. The main practice in the selection and presentation of the textbooks which defy control. Next defects of existing textbook is the immoral tactics adopted by several publishers. Next defect is the lack of research in preparation of textbooks. The almost total disregard by private publisher of the need to bring out ancillary books such as teacher guide to company textbooks. Beside these, other defects are The author do not keep in mind standard material labels of age student. Next defects, the existing textbooks have not been written in accordance with the uh, various method of teaching. The next defects, the existing textbooks also suffer from dead materials. They do not contain up to date material. The existing textbooks also suffer from uh, unattractive get up and defective printing. So this defectiveness of textbooks make their readers uh, dull and tired. Most of the eminent author do not like to use lucid language, simple style in the textbooks. Use of textbooks. The textbook should be based on mental level, class, standard, and age of the student. In primary classes, there should be less use of textbooks, while much emphasis should be laid on oral teaching of teaching of teachers. There may be 2 or 3 textbooks having picture on language and mathematics. At secondary level, so much emphasizes as can be uh, uh, on the textbooks and self learning. But it does not mean that education would be book center. At degree level, teachers should emphasize it on oral teaching and should encourage the student philosophical to read more and for arriving the depth of the subject matter. Purpose and importance of textbooks. They determine not only the subject matter to be taught, but also the method of teaching. Next purpose of textbook, the textbooks are the only tool in the hand of teachers in Indian situation with which they are able to run their teaching program smoothly. Next purpose of textbooks, the textbooks are good learning instrument for student as they can receive their lesson whenever they want to do so. Textbooks are the cheap vehicles for attending the goals of curriculum. Next purpose of purpose and importance of textbook, the textbook fill the need of the student. The textbook should be promote moral value. The most important uh, use and importance of in my point of view, the textbooks should be promote moral value and student and teacher. Nowadays it is very important for us to uh, build or inculcate moral value in everyone. So these are the main important of uh, textbooks. The books give concrete form of the curriculum. Scope of the any topic can be better know with the help of the textbooks. Uh, they help the teacher in right planning uh, of the yearly work. Textbook should be based on the characteristics of children. Uh, and towards the promotions of nation goal like democracy, uh, secularism, socialism, and national integration uh, should be done or should be promoted by the book. So these are the purpose and importance of textbooks. Now we will discuss the merit of textbooks. The textbooks present contain material in compact form, suggested activities to keep the teacher and student on right track, uh, to develop the thinking and critical power of the teaching base for classroom teaching. Uh, as we know, learning process complete by a triangle. In triangle, in one point teacher and second point student and third point books. So these they will communicate mm, uh, uh, on behind of on the behalf of textbooks. So uh, the develop the thinking and critical power by the textbooks. Uh, cure for bad and effective teaching. Uh, it act as on teaching aid for the students, for the teachers. Demerits of textbooks. Too much dependency on the textbooks gives temporary bookish knowledge. So it is better to understand the concept and all these things to do practice according to textbooks to get knowledge to reduce these types of demerits. There is a lack of direct expressions the student acquire second knowledge. So there is a lack of ex experiences, lack of interest shown by the top ranking scholar. The another demerits of book, carelessness and cheating done by the publisher. Nowadays, as we hear and we saw, new author, new publisher came in the market. They are doing not all the publisher and author doing cheating, but they are cheating the other work. So this is the disadvantage or demerits of the textbooks. Suggestion for improvement in textbooks. First one is some textbooks should certain be prepared by the education department of the government. Their standard should be high in all respect so that other publisher maybe prepare suitable textbooks of the standard of the textbooks published by the government. The textbook should be have suitable picture, diagram, and illustration in the order to they can they may be interesting of the student. Next suggestion: the textbooks on different subject should be not be limited. 6 or 7 textbooks of each subject should be prepared so that the headmaster and teachers may have fully freedom of selecting the best book. Sure, should not be extended on the school authority and teachers in the selection of book. And the textbook should not cast any reflection on any society, class, community, or religion. They should help in developing the feeling of the nation, integration, and international understanding. The textbook should be prepared by subject expert. The author should be rewarded for good book. The nation level good author should be invited to write textbooks for different levels of education. The center and state government should work together for preparation of suitable textbooks. NCERT doing good work in publishing of good book. The some standard foreign textbook should be translated into the Indian language. It will facilitate availability of suitable textbooks. This policy should be particularly followed for scientific and technical subject. The correction of the textbook should be continuous process. For this, committee should be permanently appointed. These are the references you should go through for further more detail. Now time for MCQs. Uh, uh, when was the printing press established in culture during the region of the British rule? Option A, 1820, option B, 1824, option C, 1821, option D, 1830. Correct answer is 1824, option B. Who state textbooks is a book designed for classroom use? Hallquist, uh, American textbooks, uh, Lenge, Bacon. Answer is D, Bacon. Next MCQs, the standard that the textbooks is recorded of recall thinking, organized for the instructional purpose. A Lenge, Bacon, Hallquist, Alexander. Answer is C, Hallquist. Next MCQs, principal layout is domain, other domain, option C, internal domain, option D, external domain. Option D is, no, sorry, option B is correct answer, other domain. Next MCQs, selection of the content is a option A domain, option B other domain, option C internal domain, option D external domain. Option correct answer is option C internal domain. Next MCQs, what is mean by text? Option A printed material, option B used material, option C useful material, option D useless material. Correct answer is option A printed material. Next MCQs, for the evaluation of the textbook, what do you use usually? Option A schedule, option B scale, option C case study, option D questionnaire. Correct answer option B scale. Next MCQs, which things should be taken into consideration while selecting a textbooks? Option A, selection of content, option B, price, option C, organization, option C, option D, all of the above given choice. So correct answer is option D, all the above. Next MCQs, what is mean by textbooks? Option A, set of pages that have been fastened together inside a cover to be read. Option A, uh, 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 what is the meaning of textbook? Option A, a set of pages that have been fastened together inside a cover of to be read. Option B, class. Option C, teaching. Option D, learning. Correct answer is option A set of pages that have been fastened together inside a cover to be read. Next MCQs, filling the blanks, present contain material in compact form. Option A, textbook. Option B, class. Option C, teaching. Option D, learning. Correct answer is textbooks. Present contain material in a compact form. Thank you, student. You listen me patiently, and you should go through my video. Have a good day. Thank you.